Exodus 36. Bezalel, Oliab, and all the scattered people are to work based on everything the Lord has commanded. The Lord has given them wisdom and understanding to know how to do all the work of construction the sanctuary. So Moses summoned Bezalel, Oliab, and every skilled person in whose heart the Lord had placed wisdom, all whose heart moved them, to come to the work and do it. They took from Moses Princess all the contributions that the Israelites that brought for the task of masking the sanctuary. Meanwhile, the people continued to bring freewill offerings morning after morning. Then all the artisans who were doing all the work for the sanctuary came one by one from the work they were doing and said to Moses, "The people are bringing more than he needed for the construction to work the Lord commanded to be done." After Moses gave an order, they set a proclamation throughout the camp. Let no man or woman make anything else an offering for the sanctuary. So the people stopped. The materials were sufficient for them to do all the work. There was more than enough. Building the tabernacle. All skilled artisans among those doing the work made the tabernacle with 10 curtains. Bezalel made from the finely spun linen, as well as blue, purple, and sacred yarn, with the design of cherubim worked into them. Each curtain was 42 feet long and 6 feet wide. All the curtains had the same measurement. He joined 5 of curtains to each other, and the other 5 curtains he joined to each other. He made a loop of blue yarn on the edge of the last curtain in the first set, and did the same on the edge of the outermost curtain in the second set. He also made 50 gold clasps and joined the curtains to each other so that the tabernacle became a single unit. He made curtains of gold hair for a tent over the tabernacle. He made 11 of them. Each curtain was 45 feet long and 6 feet wide. All 11 curtains had the same measurement. He joined 5 of curtains together and the other 6 together. He made 50 loops on the edge of the outermost curtain in the first set, and 50 loops on the edge of the corresponding curtain in the second set. He made 50 bronze clasps to join the tent together as a single unit. He also made a covering for the tent from ram skins dyed red and covering of the fine leather on the top of it. He made upright support of acacia wood for tabernacle. Each support was 15 feet long and 27 inches wide. Each support was 15 feet long and 27 inches wide. Each support had 2 tenons for joining on one to another. He did the same for all the support of the tabernacle. He made support for the tabernacle as follows: 20 for the south side, and he made 40 silver bases to put under the 20 supports. 2 bases under the first support for each 2 tenons, and 2 bases under each of the following supports for their 2 tenons. For second side of tabernacle, the north side, he made 20 supports with their 40 silver bases, 2 bases under the first support and 2 bases under each of the following ones. And for the back of the tabernacle on the west side, he made 6 supports. He also made 2 additional supports for 2 back corners of the tabernacle. They were paired at the bottom and joined together at the top of single rings. This is what it did with both of them for the 2 corners. So there were 8 supports with their 16 silver bases, 2 bases under each one. He made 5 crossbars of acacia wood for the support on one side of the tabernacle, 5 crossbars for supporters on the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 crossbars for those at the back of the tabernacle on the west. He made the center crossbar run through the middle of the support from one end of the other. He overlaid them with gold and made their rings out of gold as holders for the crossbars. He also overlaid the crossbars with gold. Then he made the curtain with blue, purple, and sacred yarn and fine spoon linen. He made it with the design of cherubim worked into it. He made 4 pillars of acacia wood for it and overlaid them with gold. The hooks were of gold, and he cast 4 silver bases for the pillars. He made the screen embroidered with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine spun linen for the entrance to the tent, together with its 5 pillars and their hooks. He overlaid the top of the pillars and their bands with gold, but their 5 bases were bronze. Exodus 37. The sacred chest. Bezalel built a chest of acacia wood 110 centimeters long, 66 centimeters wide, and 66 centimeters high. He covered it inside and out with pure gold and put a gold etching around the top. He made 4 gold rings and attached one of them to each of the 4 legs of the chest. Then he made 2 poles of acacia wood, covered them with gold, and put them through the rings, so the chest could be carried by the poles. The entire lid of the chest, which was made of pure gold, was the place of mercy. On each of the 2 ends of the chest, he made the winged creature of hammered gold. They faced each other, and their wings covered the place of mercy. The table for the sacred bread. Bezalel built a table of acacia wood 88 centimeters long, 44 centimeters wide, and 66 centimeters high. He covered it with pure gold and put a gold etching around it with a border 75 millimeters thick. He made 4 gold rings and attached one to each of the legs near the etching. The poles for carrying the table were placed through these rings and were made of acacia wood covered with gold. Everything that was to be set on the table was made of pure gold. The bowls, plates, jars, and cups for wine offerings. The lampstand. Bezalel made a lampstand of pure gold. The whole lampstand, including its decorative flowers, was made from a single piece of hammered gold, with 3 branches on each of its 2 sides. There were 3 decorative almond blossoms on each branch and 4 on the stem. There was also blossom where each pair of branches came out from the stem. The lampstand, including its branches and decorative flowers, was made from a single piece of hammered pure gold. The lamp and its equipment, including the tongs and trays, were made of about 35 kilograms of pure gold. The altar for burning incense. Bezalel made an altar of acacia wood. It was 45 centimeters square and 90 centimeters high, with each of its 4 corners sticking up like the horn of the bull. He covered it with pure gold and put a gold etching around it. Then below the edging on opposite side, he attached two gold rings through which he put the poles for carrying the altar. These poles were also made of acacia wood and covered with gold. The oil for dedication and the incense. Bezalel mixed the sacred oil for dedication and the pure spices for the sweet smelling incense. Exodus 38. The altar for offering sacrifices. Bezalel built an altar of acacia wood for offering sacrifices. It was 2.25 meters square and 1.34 meters high, with each of its four corners sticking up like a horn of a bull, and it was completely covered with bronze. The equipment for the altar was also made of bronze. The pans for the hot ashes, the shovels, the bowls, the meat forks, and the fire pans. About halfway up the altar, he built a ledge around it and covered the bottom half of the altar with a decorative bronze grating. Then he attached the bronze ring beneath the ledge at the four corners to put the poles through. He covered the two acacia wood poles with bronze and put them through the rings for carrying the altar, which was shaped like an open box. The large bronze bowl. Bezalel made a large bowl and stand out of bronze from the mirror of the woman who helped at the entrance to the sacred tent. The courtyard around the sacred tent. Around the sacred tent, Bezalel built a courtyard 44 meters long on the south and north and 22 meters wide on the east and west. He used 20 bronze posts on bronze stand for the south and north and 10 for the west. Then he hung a curtain of fine linen on the posts along each of these three sides by using silver hooks and rods. He placed 3 bronze posts on each side of the entrance at the east and hung a curtain 6.67 meters wide on each set of posts. For the entrance to the courtyard, Bezalel made a curtain 9 meters long, which he hung on 4 bronze posts that were set on bronze stands. This curtain was 2.25 meters high, the same height as the one of the rest of the courtyard, and was made of fine linen embroidered and woven with blue, purple, and red wool. He hung the curtain on the 4 posts using silver hooks and rods. The pegs for the tent and for the curtain around the tent were made of bronze. The sacred tent. Bezalel had worked closely with Aholiab, who was an expert at designing and engraving and at embroidering blue, purple, and red wool. The two of them completed the work that the Lord had commanded to be done. Moses put Aaron's son Ithamar in charge of the Levite, who kept a record of the metals used for the sacred tent. According to the official weight, the amount of gold given was a ton, and the silver that was collected when the people were counted came to 3.4 tons. Everyone who was counted paid the required amount, and there was a total of 603,550 men who were 20 years old or older. 34 kilograms of the silver were used to make each of the 10 stands for the sacred tent and the curtain. The remaining 30 kilograms of silver were used for the hook and the rod and for covering the top of the post. 2,425 kilograms of bronze were given, and it was used to make the stands for the entrance to the tent, the altar and its grating, and the equipment for the altar, the stands for the posts that surrounded the courtyard, including those at the entrance to the courtyard, and the pegs for the tent and the courtyard.